All right. Hello, everybody who is maybe watching this later. This is a speedrun tutorial video for Threads of Fate Mint any percent. So if you're interested in speedrunning it, watch this video, I guess. I'll try and give some insight into what I'm doing, things to look out for, things that might not be obvious just by watching a run. First thing is, you almost always want to hold the button, either the X button or the square button. For text, you do not want to mash. Mashing is slower. And one of the first things we're going to do here is eat this pumpkin thing. I don't know what it is exactly, but she hates pumpkins. So you just go eat that as quick as you can and then just stand around waiting for a while. Hello, future Shiny Tentacruel and present Shiny Tentacruel. How are you doing? Thank you, JT. And hello, Bright Eyes. This means that I'm going to be playing through the game, but I'm not going to be trying to go particularly fast. And I'm going to try and explain what I'm doing. I might stop to like redo some things in order for like demonstration purposes. For now, we're just holding the X button, though. You can also hold the square button. They both will progress the text. Usually you want to use the X button because square is the button that lets you change your magic. So if right at the end of the dialogue you want to change your magic, then maybe hold square instead. But they'll do the same thing in the dialogue sections. But yeah, holding is way faster than mashing, so that's something I think new runners often do because you can't really tell by watching a video. Like, they just assume it's mashing because that's what it is in most games. But it's actually significantly faster to hold the button. It's kind of... I guess we can explain how the text scrolling works. It's sort of like if you think when you press and hold like a letter on your keyboard, it'll like press it once and then it'll like wait a moment and then it'll start pressing it really quickly. It works kind of the same way with this, where if you have pressed the button for a period of time, probably about a second, maybe a little less, then after that it like switches the text into like a fast scrolling speed. So there's actually a couple spots where if there's a dialog box right after a loading screen, it's actually faster to mash away that first text box because it won't have gone into like the auto scrolling mode yet if you're just holding. For a new runner, I wouldn't worry too much about that. We're talking about a difference of maybe 5 or 10 seconds throughout the run. You know, for a game that's like 3 hours long, it's really, you know, pretty negligible at first. That'd be more of an advanced thing. I will be going into kind of some beginner strats and intermediate to advanced strats a little bit, and I'll try to explain as I'm going like which I would recommend for new runners and which ones I would you know, wait until you're a little more comfortable with the game and can get through the big stuff smoothly, and then you can focus on the little details. It would be my recommendation. Obviously you can go straight for the hardest strats right away if you're into that kind of thing. To be honest, if you're playing Threads of Fate, I'm pretty happy about it. Ooh, mention fastest speed. Yeah, good idea. So basically for all PlayStation 1 speedruns, the fastest way to play would be on a PlayStation 2 using the fast disk speed option. So on a English version PS2, you go to that screen where it says like browser and something else. I don't know. You press triangle, triangle, X down X. That'll put it on fast disk speed. It makes the disk spin faster, and you it'll make all the loading screens a bit faster. That'll save probably a couple minutes throughout this run. Generally, a PS2 Slim is going to be faster than a PS2 Fat. I'm not an expert on the versions, but generally PlayStation speedruns in general are going to follow that, so you could probably find some resources in other communities as well. So here's the first time we really do stuff. We basically just run into town, still holding X here just to scroll through this first dialogue that's going to come up. And first thing we do is run out to Corona Forest. I'm kind of assuming that you've played the game before casually. If you've never played the game casually, I'd really recommend you do that before speedrunning, but again, I'm not your boss. Do what you want. Here we jump over these stumps. There's 2 Polywogs. We need 2 MP here. However you can get 2 MP, they'll give you 1 for hitting them and 2 for one of those drops. So you can see I got 4 now. You basically need 2 MP here to kill both these Polywogs. If you have more than 2 MP, well, here, I'll show you what I do, assuming I have 2 MP here, is basically shoot one and then shoot the other one. If you have 3 or more MP, you can just hold the button down and go 3 in a row, and it'll the first one will hit the first polywog, the third one will hit the second polywog. Oops, pressing the wrong button because Japanese version has different buttons and I'm used to playing on Japanese. Just run straight through this screen. There's this log coming up here that I like to try and jump on. It's like a little faster if you do it right, or a rock rather than a log. Anyway, just go into the goop as little as possible. Now we got our first boss fight, Blood and Smoky. This fight, you basically just want to get through it as quick as you can. At the moment, we don't have any like real advanced strats. It's basically do a jump kick. You want to only focus on Blood, who is the tall one. Kind of ignore Smoky as much as you can. And you want to try and keep them on separate sides of you, or sorry, on the same side of you. You don't want them to be on separate sides because they'll kind of like pincer attack you, which can be dangerous. You want to keep them on the same side. But I usually jump up, jump kick him once, and then just go into combo attacks while trying to keep them both in front of me. This fight, I mean, it's not super consistent. It probably could be with a little bit of work, but so you see I kind of go on the other side of him. It didn't really work. This is not a particularly good instance of this fight, but with some practice you can get it going a little quick. There's a lot of cutscenes in this game, as you may be aware if you've played it casually, so just know that going into the speed run, there is a whole lot of just holding the X button. So if you like a relaxed, chill speed run, then maybe this is a good game for you. If you like something super action-packed, maybe this is not the right game for you. Just to be completely upfront about it. So here, Elena. It's like, hey, come help rescue our parents. We run through this next screen. Doesn't really matter how fast you go through the screen because you have to wait for Elena either way. So just make your way to the end. You beat her, she'll give you some coins or something. Yeah, silver coin. And we get another cutscene. We're coming up on a very frustrating section sometimes, which is the gargoyles. If you play casually, you may have spent a lot of time on them. There's 2 gargoyles that spawn, and you need to kill them both within like about 2 seconds of each other. So we do have a strat to do that semi-consistently. We'll see if I can actually pull it off in the tutorial. I kind of hope so. But it's not 100% consistent. So the gargoyles have 25 HP. We're going to use the white wide magic to hit them both at the same time, but you don't always hit them at the same time, and you can do 11, 12, or 13 damage. So with those damage rolls, sometimes they die in 2 hits, sometimes they die in 3 hits, and if the 2 gargoyles die in a different number of hits than each other, then it like desyncs them, and you may be in some trouble for beating them quickly. Normally, if that happens, I'll just reset and do the first like 8 minutes over again. As a new runner, make your own decision. Here we gotta try and avoid these stupid porcupines. I don't have a great way for it. You can see I just got hit. You basically just want to jump around these things, avoid everything, make your way down. Making your way downtown to the gargoyles. Here I like to only use the D-pad on this screen, not the analog stick, because you really want to stay centered. That'll help you with this strat here. Switch to the wide magic, stand right about here, and when they get about even with those things, you start shooting. This should be okay. No, it's not okay. This is what happens when the fight goes badly. Maybe I can still get them. No, it's bad. Okay. Actually, I think we're going to try and just die, so we can do it again to demonstrate what it looks like. Here you can just hold X to use a coin. Should I actually use silver coin? No, we'll use bronze coin. Should be enough magic. Again, D-pad only. Just to stay centered. Movement's weird in this game? Oh yeah. Movement in this game's a little bit weird for sure. I didn't have enough magic. Silly me. Dang, I really want to show off the strat. So in the... Oh, that's only HP. It's not MP. That's funny. So, I'm doing a poor job here, but... Yeah, like I said, normally I would reset if this happens. Okay, we got it. Going up the ramp's hard. True. Ideally, these guys do drop magic, because you want to have as much MP as possible here. This next fight's a bit more consistent than that, luckily. Go up to the top of the stairs and we fight this stupid guard dog horse thing. And we want to use the white wide magic again on him. You got to do it 5 times to kill him. And you basically just want to like run up to him, hit him once, and then run to the right. It'll make him do the jump attack. Then you do it 2 more times, he'll do the jump attack again, and then you do it twice again. So hopefully this will go smoothly. Kind of jump over that thing, hit him once, run close, do it again, now he jumps. And that's pretty much exactly how the fight goes, and I press that button because, again, the controls are different on Japanese version, and I got a lot of muscle memory going for me. So here we go inside. I'm still kind of workshopping the money route. I think right now the best way is to pick up this silver coin up here. By the time you're watching this, that may or may not be determined to be the fastest strat for the money route. And then you definitely want to pick up this item over here. We're going to sell that for money. We go here and check the vault. How you doing, pal? Man, it's pretty late for you, isn't it? Or early, I guess, at this point. At this point, we're going to head back to town. Go back to town a lot in this game. Watching so you know what to do. Perfect. That is the hope. Missed the start of Corona. Basically just run to the forest. So one cool thing about the route of this category is we're going to do the last hero side quest right at the beginning. So basically we go pick up a book that we're going to give to Rod, and he'll give us 4 strength ups, which will be really helpful for our boss fights, especially. And it takes a couple minutes to do the quest, but it does end up saving time throughout the course of the run. So first thing, we go talk to Klaus in the basement, as we're going to do probably about 10 times throughout the run. He'll basically set us off on our journey. He always tells us where to go next. Here you want to start out holding up, kind of roll to an upright. This game uses analog, but it's not like a full analog. It's just an 8-way control. I like to use the analog stick. You can use D-pad if you want. But yeah, the game only supports like 8 directions of movement, so it's kind of... I don't know, that makes it a little interesting, like just for what button you're gonna... what directional button you're gonna press at any given time. You just have to keep that in mind. So most of the time here in the basement, you hold down right to leave at the end of cutscenes. This first time we're actually... well, it is down right, but it's more straight right. We just start out holding down right and then immediately switch to directly right. Because the angle is faced this way, the camera angle. We get up here, hold up, and then as soon as you can see yourself, just nudge right, just slightly, and then keep going up just to get around the table. So now we're going to start doing this quest. First thing we need to do is sleep in the hotel, but before we can do that, we need money. So we just go to Tonio and we sell all the monsters that we got so far. That'll give us enough money to sleep in the hotel. We actually get that money all back right away by picking up an item that's in the hotel room here. We're going to sell that for more than the 500 that it took. Sleeping in the bed is hard sometimes. And what this does is it gives this cutscene where the monkey jumps in the stump, which once you view that, you can go in the stump yourself, which is where we find the last hero book that we're going to give to Rod. Go here. I actually mashed this text box. It's a little bit faster than holding there because of what I described earlier, that it's right after a loading screen. If you have like a single text box right after a loading screen, usually that's what you want to do, is mash rather than hold. Now we jump in the stump that's like right away here. and jump here. So this is actually a really interesting screen. These porcupines will probably mess you up if you don't know what you're doing. You want to go as far to the foreground as possible on this section and kind of hold like a down right as you're going through. And then hopefully they won't hit you. Otherwise they'll knock you down like 50 times. We use the blue single magic here. You got to hit this flower 6 times. If you're standing a little too close to it, you'll have to hit it a 7th time. I don't really know why, but that's just how it works. I don't know if that was 6 or 7, but anyway, you jump on it, jump up here, get the book. Same thing with these porcupines. You want to be on the foreground. And then we just proceed to the mountaintop to the green plant that will help us return home. That'll be the only time in this run that we use one of those, I think. Pretty sure. Now that we got the book, we'll go visit Rod. And yes, Bright Eyes, this is totally the new Monster Hunter. Just came out on Friday, I heard. Very exciting. I don't know, I've never played Monster Hunter in my life. So now we go talk to Rod. He'll have his whole introduction cutscene. So this whole quest is a bit time-consuming, but it is worth it. For one thing, like this conversation here replaces a cutscene we'd be getting later otherwise. Like, it's just his introduction cutscene, which I think isn't quite the same, but basically by doing this now, we get to save some time later. He asks if we want to pay 100 gold and fight him. We're going to say no, and then talk to him again, and that's when he'll ask us for the book, which we will indeed give to him. This also saves time by letting us take a shortcut through the forest later on, which lets us skip a whole big cutscene with Blood and Smokey. And it also, having the extra money, or sorry, the extra attack, is going to let us kill a lot of enemies much more quickly. So now we've got our strength ups. Now we want to buy the best weapon that's available now. So we're going back to Tonio's shop. We'll sell the items that we've got. We picked up one in the forest and then one in the hotel. We'll sell both of those. Have enough money to buy the silver bracer here with plenty of money left over. Now we head to the underground ruins. An interesting thing about the menus is that, like, if you go like this, you can see it kind of like loads the text slow, but if you press X an extra time while it's loading, it'll go fast. You see that? So that's the way that most of the menus work in this game. So you kind of get some muscle memory eventually of making the menu load quickly and then choose the option you want. Underground ruins. Again, you can, on the cancel depart, press the button to make it load fast again. We depart, head into the forest. You got to press up for a moment here to trigger this dialogue. And then the third dialogue box is a choice, and we'll choose the top one, which is the default option. Then this goes. So the underground ruins is a bit of a maze. As a casual player, you probably spend a lot of time running around it. But if you know where you're going, it doesn't really take too long at all. Let's go up and then right, and then kind of up and right, and then down and then left. I would recommend just watch what I do. So we do want to actually look for our MP here. I like to kick the Gudons as I'm going. You want to have at least 44 MP by the end of this section. 48 is really better. 50 is even better yet. I wouldn't slow down too much to get MP, but you definitely do want to have enough. You do have some opportunities later, though, to get a little bit more, so it's not the end of the world if you're a little bit short on MP, but we're going to need a bunch of it for the upcoming sections. I don't like to kick the spiders just because, or they're king ants, I guess they're called. They give about the same amount of MP, but they are more likely to hit you as you're hitting them. So now we proceed to the section where we have to pick up all the platforms. So we just jump along here. You can actually just jump in the straight section, the straight middle section of this. You don't really have to go left and right as you're jumping across those. I like to not kick the Gudons either. You can kick them if you want for some extra MP if you're a little bit short. I wouldn't recommend it though because it just messes up your lineup. You want to jump a little bit late on that last one so you don't get hit by those projectiles from the king ant. You often want to jump. You'll see me jumping always as I'm going by the ants to avoid their attacks. You'll kind of get the feel of it after you do it a few times. I like to jump onto these platforms. You could just run into it. I like to jump. I just feel like that helps me time my turnaround a little bit more efficiently. But it really is not super important. We're talking fractions of a second maybe. Just what's comfortable for me. Now upcoming, we've got this ice block. We'll use fire magic to break the ice block. Go left twice there to switch to the fire. Now that we've got all the platforms, we can actually jump down here rather than having to run all the way around. Now this next section is one that I feel like looks a lot harder than it is. You know, typically you just go, you know, do little jumps across whatever. You can actually run across them without jumping, and it's a bit faster. It'd probably save, I don't know, 4 or 5 seconds. And it's not actually that hard. Now I'm gonna mess it up because I said that. Nope, I didn't mess it up. Just run kind of like that. Practice it a few times, you'll get it. Hey, Leo. My cat Leo is hanging out down there meowing. My other cat is on my lap. Just having a little nap, a little Rory. For this section, I like to actually mash this dialogue just because there's a few different dialogues. I don't know if that's like super optimal. We have to talk to him like 3 or 4 times here, so I just mash. It's good enough. Running down this section, you'll see how I do it here. I didn't press down soon enough, but we should be fine. I like to listen to the audio cues. Obviously, they didn't help. Let's try and like focus and actually do it right this time. So those two sometimes go on the left, sometimes go on the right. I think it's based on your very precise position. I don't exactly know, but so I always just jump just in case they do fall on the side I'm on. So next section is one that probably casually you've fallen off a couple times and is frustrating. We'll see if I can do it the optimal way, or what I believe to be the optimal way. It's possible that there's a slightly faster way that I just haven't been able to do yet. I'm not confident that I'm doing it the best way, but this is at least a very like safe and consistent strat. I would definitely recommend for beginners to just do it this way. Now just wait for the orange one to come around. So this is really not that tight of timing at all on this route. I didn't split on Nightmare. Since it's only a tutorial, it doesn't really matter. You make your splits wherever you like them. I got them where I like them. You can have them different if you want. Now we got the Skull Beast, which is a pretty cool boss fight. Primarily because we can one-cycle him. Thanks to the strength ups we got from Rod, plus having the best weapon that's available here. So we switch over to the white Y magic. He's got a few different possible patterns. This is the best possible one. You can jump a little bit before those platforms appear. So as soon as he stops doing his attacks and becomes vulnerable, just run up to him, hit him with the 5-way magic, he'll die in 1 hit. It's very easy. You get the best pattern, so that's pretty cool. I'll just run over this way. And enter this workshop. I got 11 MP. I'd kind of rather have 12 just as a safety backup strat for the Bell fight. For Bell, we're going to have to use the 5-way magic twice, which takes 4 MP each, but it's kind of... You'll miss the second one from time to time, and so then having a 12 MP is a little nice. So here you just go into each of these 3 rooms. We pick up the tiara, the cube, we pick up a gold coin, and we heal up our HP. You can do these rooms in any order. I guess that first one first, but you could go clockwise or counterclockwise, doesn't really matter. Pick up the gold coin there, heal up on the fountain. Here we go to the right and pick up the cube. Then we head back. I like to mash this text box right here because it's only like 1. And then we hold the button now. Now we just hold the button until the Bell fight starts. So basically what you want to do is Bell is going to start out with like this shield around her and she'll shoot like a fireball. And you basically just avoid her until she shoots out her shield. Then go up, run up to her as quickly as you can and hit her with the magic. And then she'll get up, she'll shoot one fireball. As soon as she shoots that fireball, you want to hit her a second time. If you do it right, she'll die then. If you're a little too slow on the second hit, the shots will go right through her and you'll have to wait and do it again. There's a video of specifically this fight that I'd recommend watching as opposed to this tutorial. I have no idea how well this fight's going to go. A lot of the boss fights, there's videos specifically of the boss fight, which I would really recommend watching to get the strats down. Now we try and stay a little bit close, wait for her to shoot a fireball. Yeah, I got a little too slow there. I actually want to hit her once to get an MP now. That's bad. Yeah, that's not how you're supposed to do it, but that's how we did it this time, so be it. But yeah, so on speedrun.com, and actually on Speed Demos Archive too, there's a guide that has videos of a lot of the boss fights as well as explanations of a lot of what we're doing here. So I'd recommend to use that supplementally to this video to know what to do. Now we get to fight the Skull Beast again. We don't really have to fight him, we just have to hit him once. So we're just going to kick him. It might be faster to shoot him with a magic. I'm not confident, depending on like what position he ends up in. But I'm just going to kick him as soon as he becomes vulnerable. And proceed through here. So next room we gotta avoid the spiked balls. We'll jump over the first three and go under the last one. You want to stay as close as you can to the center of the spiral while you're doing this. And you do have to kind of hesitate a little bit on some of these jumps. You'll get the hang of it as you practice it. You basically stop pressing forward for like just a moment before you jump on some of these ones. Actually, all three of those. And if you get hit, no big deal. You should have plenty of health, hopefully, at this point, unless you really blundered. But you know, that's the thing. As you're running through this game, the deaths are not very punishing. You can respawn with a coin. It takes like 10 or 15 seconds. And in your first few runs, you can expect a lot of deaths. Even in my current world record, I've got a couple of them. I'm not sure how many times I died, maybe like twice. Maybe 3. So now we got this cutscene and we go back to town. As usual, we will go visit Klaus, who will tell us where to go next. Spoiler alert, the place where we're going to go next is Fancy Mel's, which is a notoriously frustrating section of the game for casual players and speedrunners alike. Having to play with all the 3 popple pearls and get through the platforming sections without falling can be hard. It's not like... I'd say at this point, I don't find it to be like ultra difficult, but you do have to pay attention to what you're doing, and I very well may fall and lose some time as I go through it right now. Interestingly, at the end of this cutscene, we hold up and right to leave. This is the only time you press up right to leave this room in the speedrun. For some reason, like, it's almost always down right, but a couple of times the camera is a little bit different. So I'll try and notate those, but really, like, you get enough time as it's loading to, like, see which direction the camera's pointing to press the right way to get out of there, so it's really no big deal. Everybody here seems to really hate Fancy Mel. I don't quite get it. She seems fine. Klaus and Elena are both like, why would you ever want to do that? Here, just hold up, leave the house. Then we head to Fancy Mel's by pressing up twice on the menu. It's a pretty common thing to press up twice on the menu to leave. Just hold right, and then we tap down a couple of times as we're running. And you want to do, you'll see what I do on this star platform. You want to jump as you're like rubbing against it. And you kind of get a quick, like, you don't do your full jump animation that way. You just get onto it quickly. There's a few platforms like that. But you want to do, you'll see what I do on this star platform. You want to jump as you're like rubbing against it. And you kind of get a quick, like, you don't do your full jump animation that way. You just get onto it quickly. There's a few platforms like that. Like at the end of each of these 3 minigames, we'll be doing the same thing. So first we just go ring the doorbell a couple dozen times. And then the Popple Pearls appear, and there's 3 of them. We need to play each of their minigames and get to the end. We'll start out with the one to the right here. The order doesn't super duper matter, but this is the order that I like to do. You do want to do the middle one not first, I would say, because you can get it a little faster. Here I like to use D-pad and just pretend it's a 2D section. Kick this guy just for MP and a little bit of money. It doesn't super matter. We probably just avoid him. Same thing with these guys. Pretty much all these guys I'm killing here just because I have time. But it doesn't really matter so much. I just don't want him to, like, troll me. Here we wait an extra cycle for the platform to show up. You just jump as far as you can. I wait a little bit here before jumping on that, just to give that platform time. You can probably jump right away. Just what I like to do. Jump over that guy. You see I do that little quick jump on the star. Now we get the ball minigame. So for these first 2 minigames, we want to get 500 points in order to get silver coins from them. So you do that by collecting balls. You get a colored ball, you get 10 points. If you get like 2 in a row of the same color, you get 40 points. If you get a black one, you lose 10 points. But interestingly, we get the black ones on purpose because for every 3 black ones that you touch, it spawns a cycle of entirely white ones. And because they're all white, you get the multiple of the same color bonus a bunch of times. And so that's a really good way to get a lot of points here. We've already got 410, you can see. We'll try and do that again to get even more points. It really doesn't matter at this point though, as long as you're over 500, then you get the silver coin. And I'm just holding X here just so that the dialogue at the end will progress faster. Like as soon as it appears, it'll be already in like fast scrolling mode. So now we want to be mashing because we'll be in the right position to talk to this guy right off the bat. You can see like it already mostly went through before the screen even fully loaded. We'll go play with this guy. Again, I'm using the D-pad for the movement here just because I find it more comfortable. Either way is fine. Kick this guy. Jump over this guy. Kick this guy. Wait a moment. Jump over the star. Kick that guy. Jump over this guy. We hesitate on the ball here for like a moment to let that star go. And I'll do it again more quickly to do it correctly. Because I fell. Again, just wait for that star. Do a little quick jump onto the star. So here we also want to get 500 points by hitting the fungies. You only want to hit them when they're standing up. I like to use only a single hit of my basic attack rather than doing like a combo attack. I just find it makes the auto-targeting work out a little better. The auto-targeting in this game is notoriously bad, honestly. You just always attack whatever's the closest enemy, even if you're like facing a different enemy. You're holding a direction of a different enemy, but there's one that's like 1 pixel closer to you, you'll attack that one, which can end up doing some things that you wouldn't really expect and can be very frustrating. If you do hit one while it's down, it attacks you. Depending on how close you are, you may be able to get away and dodge the attack. Also, if you do get knocked down, if you press the attack button, it lets you get up a little bit more quickly by doing an attack like that. But you may end up just hitting one that's down at the same time and getting hit again, so be careful of that. Again, we just want to get 500 points here for the silver coin. If you get more than that, you do get money by selling the fungies, so that can help the money route a little bit. It's like 20 per fungi or something like that. And at the end, I just hold the X button a bit so that the dialogue will scroll as soon as it loads. Left to find the third guy. Sometimes they'll like trip and fall as you're running up to them. Nothing you can really do about that, but wait for them to get up. We got the seesaw level. This is the one that probably gives me the most trouble out of the 3. Just want to hold right pretty much most of the time. Haven't let go of the right button yet, up until right here. Take that as close as we can. We want to go left, right, left on the seesaw. And if you do it all quickly, you should be good on your cycles with these guys to not get hit by these two and go right after that one. This minigame, you just don't do anything. I'm just holding the X button the whole time, and it'll end it right away. It's only one of the 3 minigames that you have the opportunity to end early by losing. Oh, I normally split before this. Again, I forgot. Big deal. And now we can go ring the doorbell again. And or knock, which rings the doorbell. I'll get another nice long cutscene before the Blood and Smoky fight. So for this upcoming boss fight, again, I would recommend to watch the dedicated video. I'm going to try and do the strat that's described in the video, but I'm not very good at it. I've been only implementing it pretty recently. A lot of times if I lose the sequence of the quick kill, I'll just kind of freestyle it and go into a auto attack. But ideally you want to be using the 5-way magic 3 times to win the fight. But before that, we got this cutscene and a little bit of running around. Here we hold the down button. You want to, after this cutscene, go directly down. If you go slightly to the side, or if you go directly down, you'll like automatically go on top of the star platform to leave. But if you hit at all to the left or right, you won't automatically go on it. So I use the D-pad here to just make sure I'm going directly down, which will get me onto the star platform without having to jump. If you do go left or right at all, you'll just have to jump to get on top of it. It's really not a big deal. Again, I'm just going into these like little tiny details just because it's like good stuff to know. But, you know, if you jump onto that platform rather than running onto it, it's really not a notable time loss. You have to go up just a little bit here to avoid hitting that wall. And then here we just go directly into Corona Forest to fight Blood and Smoky. You're going to mess up those menus from time to time. It's just how it goes. Just go right through this screen, and on the next screen we fight the bosses. But yeah, so the general idea of this boss quick kill is, again, you're only hitting Smoky, who is the tall, or no, Blood, I mean, who is the tall one. You don't hit Smoky. So you walk up to him, hit him with the 5-way magic, then intentionally get hit by Smoky just by standing still. That'll make Blood miss his attack, and then you kind of repeat that sequence 3 times, ideally. We'll see how it actually goes here. That was perfect. That's exactly how you want to do it. Oops, I skipped too many splits. Whatever, it's fine. So that was like a perfect Blood and Smoky 2 fight. Try and do that if you can. Get hit a couple times, no big deal. Here's a section where, again, I don't have my money route completely finalized. If you go to the docks here and just go directly to the right, you can pick up a gold coin. I'm not going to do that here. Actually, I am, just to show where it's at. I am going to go grab it. But with the route I'm doing now, I don't actually need to do this. You basically either do this or pick up the one on top of the stairs at the beginning in Corona Forest. But either way, you go to the inn and sleep. Hey, what's up, Dancing Rick? How are you doing today? So go to your room, it'll trigger a cutscene. You can also use that gold coin as a backup if you fail one of the 2 mini games that you're supposed to get 500 points on. If you don't get the silver coin. You can pick up that gold coin as a backup to make sure you'll have enough money. So after we're done sleeping, we will go to Mel's again to complete our quest of learning what to do with the cube. So again, I just want to kind of remind you of, like, for any dialogue boxes that are immediately after a loading screen, it's usually faster to mash rather than to hold. So that's what I'm going to do after we leave this room. We're going to mash through Miss Cartha's text box. She has one text box as you leave the inn. You just mash through it, you like barely even see it there. Exit, and head back to Fancy Mills. Just hold up here. Now we get another cutscene. As soon as you hear the doorbell ring, you want to press down and left, because we do have to exit this room. After the doorbell rings, there's like maybe 2 more dialogue boxes. Or you can just press down left the whole time if you just want to be safe and not mess it up. I really recommend just remembering what to press after a cutscene and then just like hold it throughout the cutscene as you're learning how long each cutscene is. You know, it's not like holding a button is particularly hard. So once we hear the doorbell ring, we go open the door and go talk to, I think it's Rue and Elena out there. And then from here we hold left. So upcoming is the, hey, what's up, Coverage? I agree. It is a pretty long tutorial. It's like as long as the whole run. We have the Starlight Duke fight, which you may not know. If you're playing as Mint, you can actually lose this fight and still progress, which ends up being faster than trying to win it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're trying to get hit as quickly as possible by Duke. That's part of the reason why we haven't purchased any armor yet, is so our defense will be nice and low, and we can lose the fight. So here we hold left to run right away. Go talk to Duke. I mashed through that box since there's only one text box rather than holding. And as soon as this dialogue's over, the fight will start. He has a few different attack patterns that do more or less amounts of damage. You want to get hit twice by his first attack. He always does the same attack first. In order to get hit the second time, you have to use your attack button to do like a quick get up. So you get knocked down, and if you just wait to get up, you won't get up in time to get hit a second time. So we'll try and do that here. We get hit, do the fast thing, then we get hit again. Hitting him makes him get up faster, so you do basically hit him after each time he attacks. That attack's great. That attack does a ton of damage very quickly. If he does his jumping attack and then lands on you, it does the least amount of damage, so that's kind of lame. But so now that we've lost, we are able to proceed after a bit of a cutscene. You had to guess. Oh, it's really interesting, Coverage. What, do you know what the name of the place was? That's pretty interesting. Yeah, that was a very good fight, actually. That was pretty much as good as it gets. Maybe if he does the spin attack as his second attack, I guess it's faster. Oh yeah, that's like a moderately nice area. Hey, what's up, Allison? Yeah, we're playing a video game. We're describing how to play the video game in particular, so... If you ever felt like speedrunning Threads of Fate, just watch this whole VOD and then you'll know what to do. Oh, that's really funny, Kev. Yeah, so now we go talk to Klaus. We do have 1 HP right now since we lost that fight. We are going to have to fight Rod coming up here, so we're going to go to the inn and get a quick heal. Which by talking to Miss Cartha, you can heal your HP. It doesn't heal your MP, interestingly enough. There's like no auto refill of there's no auto refills of MP anywhere throughout this game. So whatever MP you have is just what you have, and then you have to refill it and use it as you go. There are some spots like in Gamble Forest where you can go to a like MP refill thing, but there's nowhere that it just like quietly refills your MP without having any action required. This is the only time you actually have to go talk to Klaus in order to trigger a big long cutscene with Klaus. All the other times, just walking in the basement is sufficient. Kind of interestingly enough. Yeah, shiny tentacruel. You can go to the tavern. You have to go to the tavern and like drink some root beer or something to heal your MP. Like most games, like just along the way, they'll like heal you at various spots, and they heal your HP that way whenever you sleep in the inn, but you don't heal your MP. So coming up here is the first time we're going to go to Hobbs. Hobbs will buy your coins from you, where Tonio doesn't. So we use that as a big part of the money route by selling gold coins and silver coins. And then just using the bronze coins to revive if needed. Well, Shiny, I said it's nowhere that you restore your MP without having to go do something. Which is exactly... if you go to the tavern, then you are doing something. Hey there, Fridge. How are you doing today? You're just in time to learn how to play Threads of Fate. So I hope you're excited. Yeah, so now we get the first of like 6 times in a row where you press down right to leave this this screen. Didn't bring your notebook. That's right, you can watch the VOD later. As many times as you like. So you have to hold up here, just nudge right slightly to get around the table. Now we go to the inn to get our HP refilled. Then we go... here. She'll basically say, hey, it's too far away to walk. We say, okay, bye. So yeah, now we'll go to Hobbs's shop, sell all of our coins, and then go back to Tonio's shop and buy the best weapon and armor that's available at this point. We'll also sell our monsters while we're here. Interestingly, like, so there's the 3 different, like, spots on the shop menu, and whatever one you're on in Hobbs' shop, you'll remain on that one in Tonio's shop, so you just want to remember where you're at as you go into this menu, and buy the gold bracer and the gold belt. And now we go talk to Rod, who is going to fight us, and if we can beat him, then he will take us to the Gamel Forest. Come back 20 more times. Yeah, exactly. Dancing Rick understands. Thank you for restoring MP for Light Balin. Ooh, you might actually be right about that, Shiny Tentacle. It might restore your MP for Light Balin. It probably does. I think you're right. You do not want to learn. Oh, unlucky. Antonio shop, Fridgie. So this fight, again, I'd recommend watching the dedicated video for this, as I'm doing it very poorly right now. But you basically want to get in a cycle where you're like trading hits with him like this. He has like a defense mode and a non-defense mode. So you want to hit him when his defense is low, but I'm doing a poor job of it. What is that? I normally do not see that attack. Anyway, you beat him, then he'll take you to Gamel Forest. He'll say like, hey, go leave while I get ready. And then you just immediately return to his field. And he'll be like, yo, what took so long? And we'll head out. I wonder what he's up to. He's opened up a little shop there, Fridge, where he'll sell weapons and armors. And we depart. Default option on that menu. Yes, I did, Fridge. Indeed, I did. So I hit a Gamel Forest, which for casual players can be a really frustrating area, kind of like the Underground Ruins. It is a maze, but if you remember what to do, because you're a speedrunner, then it becomes pretty easy overall. At least as far as the movement sections go. We do have a fight against Belle at the beginning, which is kind of a neat fight, in my opinion. You basically just want to one-cycle her. If you two-cycle her, it loses a bunch of time, so try not to do that. But, you know, not always going to succeed at stuff. Oh yeah, we're going to spend our stimulus check at Antonio's shop. Good idea. So, wherever... whenever you're watching in the future, I'm recording this in March of 2021, and most Americans have just received their 3rd stimulus check after the COVID stuff. So, just, you know, fun really fun year we've had. I'm sure you all remember. Now, you have to go talk to this thing to recover your MP, even if you have full MP. Go talk to the windmill, go talk to the book. That's right, talk to them. And then you just walk to the center of the room here, and it'll trigger the cutscene with where Belle shows up. So basically, she makes these platforms appear, and you want to jump on them as soon as you can, and then start shooting her with the single magic, like the white rapid fire magic. Right now we have the wide magic selected, so we just go to the magic menu, press down once. That'll put us on the rapid fire. And you want to jump on the front of the platform and then spam the magic. You can get hit by one fireball. It'll push you back a little bit, but you'll stay still on the platform. And then the second fireball she shoots, you want to jump over. Because if you get hit by two of them, you'll get knocked off. You want to not get knocked off. If you can do that successfully, you should be able to one-cycle her. Oops, I did not do it successfully. And I one-cycled her anyway, so you can see it's a little bit lenient on the one cycle. Not too terribly bad. Falling off there is not part of the strat, clearly. Someone born in 2021? Yeah, I may be shiny. I'm not counting on anybody who was born after the pandemic is over to speedrun this game ever. It just doesn't seem that likely. But maybe. Could happen. Here we get the MP. We don't need it necessarily for story purposes. We don't need it, but we get it because we actually need the MP this time. Unlike the first time. What am I doing? I don't know what the buttons are on English version, apparently. Go to green magic, shoot this thing. If you go all the way up to this thing and try to use magic, it's not going to work. I'm pressing the magic button, it's not working. You need to be like just slightly back. And shoot it until it lifts you up. Yeah, you regain MP by talking to the jar, aka doing something. So this section is a big maze that's all determined by which switches you press. So you end up running through this first screen a number of times. An important thing here is don't attack these guys. Just jump over them. If you attack them, they start chasing you, which is going to cause some issues. So you never want to attack the guys on this screen. And you won't have an issue with MP as long as you follow the route correctly. You need to shoot this windmill 7 times. That'll make the thing come down. There is a way based on your positioning to get each hit to count as multiple hits. Maybe I'll talk about that more in a couple of minutes. We go through here a bunch of times. You hit this switch, and then kind of like the star platforms earlier, you want to be like rubbing up against this and then press the jump button. And I did it incorrectly there and did a full jump. If you do it correctly, you'll just kind of like nudge your way onto it. So here we want to hit this first windmill. Again, don't attack these guys. Just jump over them and hit the windmill 1 time to move the platform. You'll get it just close enough to you that you can make this jump. And then make that jump. Kick these guys for some MP. Hit the switch and then return. And now you want to get full MP by attacking these guys. So usually 1 triple combo is enough to get full MP. And proceed on your way. If you have like, 65 MP or something there, that's fine. You don't need like full MP. But you want to be pretty close. The MP is a little bit tight throughout this section. Depending on what you do in the earlier sections. If you end up using extra MP earlier in the run due to messing stuff up or dying or whatever, then you may have a higher max MP, which will make the MP a little bit less tight here. Again, 7 hits on that windmill will make the platform come down. You're going to wait for the platform to come all the way down before you jump on it. If you get on it early, it'll just stay down. This time we do not hit the switch. There, I did the strat correctly. Now you hit only the left switch here. I really recommend just writing down what to do. Going through the forest until you get it memorized. I've got it memorized at this point. But, you know, your first few times through, you're definitely going to want to have notes just to make sure you're hitting all the correct switches and everything. Again, don't attack those guys. And this time again, we will not hit this switch. This screen's kind of a fun one in my opinion. I like having 30 MP here. This is a nice amount. You basically just want to like spam your magic between like, you know, 7 and 10 times on this upcoming windmill. I have 30 MP. Each one takes 3, so I can shoot it 10 times, which I think is optimal. Makes that platform go, then you just jump on it. The more MP you have, the faster you can make it go by hitting it more times. Then you just jump down. If you fall there, it's no big deal because it makes you go to the far side anyway. And again, you want to hit those guys until you get full MP. You don't need quite full MP, but again, you want to be pretty close. And if you're scared of Cloud Whale, you might want to try and get some HP there too, because the Cloud Whale fight is coming up shortly. The Cloud Whale fight is a very fun and exciting fight. Also frustrating. So now we are finally going to hit this next switch for a second time. So basically hit it the first time and the last time you come through here. Hey there, Opnauticus. Yes, we want to have a nice amount of magic points. So what I like to do... Okay, so first of all, by doing this route correctly, you end up picking up this brooch here, which we're going to sell later for money. If you did something wrong and don't get it, then your money situation is going to be bad, so just do the route correctly. So here I like to get full MP again, we're pretty close to it. And then once I'm done attacking, I just keep holding the X button. Something like that. So like now I'm still holding the X button, that way once this next dialogue triggers, I'll already be in fast text mode. Right here. So now I got some dialogue before Cloud Whale. So the way Cloud Whale works, is he's got a lot of different attacks he can do, and there's only 3 different ones where you can damage him. So you can damage him on the one where he's on the right and he opens his mouth and he inhales. You can damage him if he's in the background and he opens up his mouth and inhales. And you can hit him if he's in the background and he has like a shiny like thing on his forehead. So if he has the shiny thing on his forehead, you'll want to jump kick it as many times as you can. If you jump and then press kick really quickly and your spacing is right, you can actually kick it twice per jump. So that's what you want to do. I think you can maybe one cycle him with jump kicks if you do it optimally, but it's really tough. You have to basically like go forward and back on each jump. If you just like press only, you know, circle and then X and not any directions, it's going to pull you towards the background a little bit and you'll end up falling in the water. So you need to press like forward and back each time you're kicking. Really the attack you're looking for though is the one where he's on the right. And you want to hit him with your green magic while he is beginning to inhale before it starts sucking you. You want to hit him with I think 6 hits and then start running left once it starts moving you. You press left the entire time he's inhaling, and then as soon as he stops you can hit him with another couple of hits. And if you do that perfectly, you can one cycle him. It's very hard. As you're starting out, don't expect to get a one cycle. It'll take a lot of effort before you're actually good enough to do that. I can get it most times now, but I mess it up often enough. It's basically the same strat if he's in the background doing the inhale, except for you do not have enough time to one cycle him. If he does that attack, you just cannot one cycle him. But yeah, as a beginner, you know, try and aim to like 2 cycle him. And he's got a bunch of other attacks that if he uses them, there's nothing you can really do. You just gotta wait. So we'll see what he does here. Again, there's a dedicated video to this, which I would recommend watching. So yeah, if he does this, nothing you can do. You just wait. He spawns the enemies. You just wait. Swims around. You just wait. Just hit these guys just to get rid of them. Restore some HP and MP if you need it. Okay, here's this attack. So we basically, for this one, you just stand right here and shoot your attack. And then as soon as he starts inhaling, you run away, and then you see you can't hit him at the end of it. With the one where he's on the right, you can hit him at the end of it. Other than that, they're largely the same. I'm actually going to wait. I want to show you the jump attack, so we're just going to not kill him here. Well, I'll see. Okay, either the jump attack or the on the right thing we'll wait for. Just to at least demonstrate 2 out of the 3 things. Yeah, this is a super cool boss fight. Well, I've got put into speedrun.com. I don't really have notes, so to speak, but so he keeps just using this attack, which is kind of lame. See what happens if you get sucked up by him. It does this. Oh, it didn't do it? I don't know. I think it was too late that he didn't actually inhale me. I wish we should use one of those other ones. But yeah, I will be putting this video onto speedrun.com in the guides section. Okay, whatever. We're just going to finish him off because I'm tired of waiting. Hopefully my description plus the dedicated video for this fight will be sufficient. You'll be at about this pace, to be honest. Like, sub 1 hour Cloud Whale on English version is the sign of a very good early game, I would say. Once you're at that point, you're doing all right. In your first few runs, don't expect to be there. You know, expect to be an hour 5, hour 10, maybe later, you know. Just as you're learning the game. More cutscenes, just hold an X here. We're going to go back to Klaus. And then coming up is the Raging Mountain, which in my opinion is probably the hardest split in the speedrun to do optimally. There's just a lot of things that control you all in one big sequence. In my current world record, which is, it's a very low 245 on Japanese version. I think it's like 245.04 or something like that currently. I think I died in the Raging Mountain and also had a very slow Bell and Duke fight. So here you just hold upright throughout that cutscene. Run out here. Get another nice nice cutscene with Trap Master, who's going to have us play with some pumpkins. Coming up here is a loading screen as you enter the house. So you don't have to like manually enter the house here. It'll move you automatically. But after that loading screen, you do want to mash through the first text box because it appears very quickly after the loading screen. So here I mash. And now I start holding. So that dialog box was like so fast you couldn't even really see it, but it was on enough the screen. If you just hold there, that dialog box will be on the screen for like a full second. And here I just hold up. Once this dialog's over, you go up and then quickly go to the right, basically as soon as you can see yourself moving. You can also hold up right. Sometimes you get caught on the edge of this like table thing, so I like to just go up. Just do what's comfortable for you. And again, as like a new runner, like knowing which direction to push after every cutscene is like pretty negligibly helpful. Definitely focus on the larger aspects of the route and the boss fights before worrying too much about those things. But we head over to the basement, where they're gonna tell us to go fight Wylaf, the 1,000-year-old dragon, to try to get some Phantomite. Before we go to the Raging Mountain, though, we are going to go to Tonio's shop, sell our monsters, and buy a weapon. We don't have anything we want to sell from the third menu, no items we want to sell. I wouldn't even recommend to go to that screen at all, because we do have the brooch in our inventory that we picked up in the Gamble Forest, and we do not want to sell that. If you sell that, that's bad. We'll lose out on a bunch of money, so I just don't even, just avoid that whole dialogue box in general. Not really dialogue box, but menu screen. We just sell our monsters, go back up to the buying weapons thing, and buy the best weapon that's available. It might be the only weapon that's available. I can't remember. I think it's the only weapon available. Then we head to Raging Mountain. Hold down right. And hold up. Go clockwise around the fountain. I'm pretty sure it's faster than counterclockwise. Not 100% on that. You could time it if you wanted to see, but it'll be a very small difference. We sell our monsters, buy the Platinum Bracer, and head out. Go to the Raging Mountain. We will go up twice on the... Oh, that's a Gamble Forest. That's not where I want to go. Up twice on the menu goes to Raging Mountain. Alright, so first thing we got to do is pick up the black magic to break the boulders. So jump over this and then just fall off this one. Pick it up. You got to wait like a brief moment before it'll appear in your menu. Blow up a rock. Just avoid these guys. This next screen, there's two Polywogs. If you don't kill them, you're going to auto-target them with your magic, so I would recommend just hit them with a basic attack each. And avoid the Bubba and these steam spouts. Going through here, try to not take damage. You'll probably get hit sometimes. Jump here. These guys, I like to go twice. I like to jump and then jump again to try and avoid those guys, because they'll attack like as soon as you get close a lot of times. I did that successfully. I do not always do that successfully by any means. If you get knocked down a lot of times, don't feel bad, because everybody does. And then getting across here is also very tough. I find it easier to make it across these gaps immediately after falling down. Sometimes you can make it if you don't. But basically just go something like that. Again, you're probably going to fail that a bunch of times. I do all the time, mess that up. But make your way through, hopefully with as much health as possible. So now we go into a very tough boss fight. If you have low health here, I recommend just let Duke punch you a couple times and die so you get full health. But basically you want to kick Bell and also kick Duke, actually. And try to not miss any cycles. There's, again, a dedicated video on this boss fight. I'm just going to go through it as best as I can. You want to use only basic attacks at first, and then once Belle appears, sometimes you want to use blue magic. I only use blue magic right after she shoots her shield, kind of similarly to what you do the first time you fight Belle in the Underground Ruins. But there's, I think, some other times when you can do it. But basically, whenever Belle moves forward, you try and hit her, and then in between those hits, try to hit Duke until he is defeated. She's too far back, I can't hit her. You want to stay in the foreground so that Belle will come as far to the foreground so you can actually hit her. You can get a double hit, but it's tough, and it involves kind of manipulating Belle's position a little bit and having the hexagon kind of like rub against you with some collision. It's very tough to do. I've only done it a few times. Wouldn't recommend like being that worried about it. So now we kind of switch to the blue wide magic here, but we will use a lot of jump attacks. Jump her right as she shows up is what I like to do. And basically whenever she gets up. Now as soon as she shoots this, we'll hit her with the blue magic. Then go back to kicking her. Not ideal. Also not ideal. I try not to get too close to the edges for exactly that reason. It makes Polywogs appear, which can help you with your HP and magic. Somebody recently said that the right one gives you HP, the left one gives you MP, may come in handy. I like to take the heal over here pretty much always, so that we're at good health for Wylaf. That Bubba can wreck you, though, so be careful. That guy can knock you down. I'm sure casually that may have happened to you a couple of times. Yeah, Shiny Tentacruel said that. It's true, I should give proper credit. It was indeed Shiny Tentacruel. So here we want to use Blue Wide Magic on Wylaf whenever he descends. If you time it right, you can hit him with all 3 hits of the Blue Magic. That's a common theme in this run, is using Wide Magic and then hitting with multiple hits at once. Early game is mostly White Magic, late game is mostly Blue Magic for whatever reason. Sometimes he'll just stay on the ground at the beginning of the fight and you can run up and jump kick him. So if he's on the ground at the beginning, you can kind of actually hear an audio cue of him like stomping around before he's visible. So kick him if you can. Sometimes also after you hit him with your Blue Magic, he'll stay down, and again, you can kick him. You can also kick him even if he's not vulnerable to get some MP back if you need it. So I usually go for that. Okay, so he didn't do it. Uses the wind attack, you just kind of wait it out. Mostly just takes some timing to get the practice on hitting him with the triple hit. I still don't get it all the time. So far so good though. Fire is better than wind. Oops, unless you do that. Yeah, it still worked out really nicely actually. If I hit him with a triple hit there, I think he would have died. It's okay. Right. Once he does this, you just hold X for a while. Just make sure don't attack him after he descends here. It's a whole storyline thing that he can beat you up if you attack him. I'm holding X here, just don't let go, because if you let go and repress it, I think you hit him, and that's bad. So yeah, don't hit him. That fight went quite well. That's definitely a better than average fight for me. Overall, it was a very, very smooth Raging Mountain. Most of the time in runs, it does not go that well. So if yours goes significantly worse than that, don't feel bad. Because even someone with a 2:45 time frequently loses, you know, over a minute in Raging Mountain. Here, Blood and Smoky show up. Just hold X. Head to Klaus's house, as always. And now this next part is very, very important. Before you go anywhere, before you leave town here, you have to sell the brooch that you picked up in Gamble Forest. So there's a guy standing next to the fountain. He might be named Markham, or maybe Markham's a different guy. Honestly, I don't know. But you talk to him, and he'll offer you 4,000 gold for it. You say no. Talk to him again. He'll offer you 6,000 gold. Then you say yes. I guess if you've got some kind of really high money route going, you could maybe take the 4,000. I don't know. I've never done that, but theoretically that could be optimal sometimes, depending on what else you've done in your run. But if you don't sell it to him now, you have to sell it to either Hobbs or Tonio, who give you way less. I think they give you like 1,000 for it instead of 6,000. Obviously, that's a very big difference. And basically, if you mess up your money route and don't have enough money, you end up not buying the armor that you want to buy, which just makes everything more dangerous and not so fun. I'd rather have, you know, safer fights rather than more dangerous fights. And then once we sell it, we will go to Fancy Mel's to go fight Gorotan. I'm being told that it is indeed Markham who you sell the thing to. I just know where he stands. Again, I normally play on Japanese version, so I can't speak or read Japanese. I just memorized all the dialogue prompts, which there's not that many of. Japanese version is faster by a couple of minutes, so if you're looking to be super optimal, then that's the way to go, but for somebody starting out, it's absolutely fine to play an English version. We got our 6,000 gold, and we'll head off to Mel's. Danson Rick says he's going to name his son Markham. Cool. I guess that's neat enough. So here we go talk to Mel. Will tell us to go fight Gorotan if we want to get yellow magic, which is exactly what we want to do. Gorotan is a fight that's not that hard to do correctly. So you just got to kind of have an idea of what you're doing ahead of time. Actually executing it is not so hard. Here you need to exit again by pressing down and left, similar to what we did earlier. Go talk to this third guy who will send us to Gorotan. So we want to use our blue magic, run up close to him and hit him with all three, but only when he doesn't have his shields. Again, there's a video directly about this video, there's a video directly about this boss. I'd recommend watching that for the strats, because I might mess it up here. But first you want to run and jump to avoid his lightning until his shield goes away. He'll do it after either one time or like 5 times, I think. Or 2, apparently. So you hit him. You can double hit him sometimes, like you hit him and then again when he wakes up. If you do it too many times, he'll like trade hits with you, though. Like right here. So you do have to... There you go. That's exactly what you want to do on that fight. Yeah, by memorizing that pattern, you can kill him pretty easily. If you mess up the pattern, it's not that bad. Just be aware that sometimes when you hit him, he'll like hit you back at the same time. You can actually have a double KO on him where you and him die at the same time. If that happens, you actually get his monster coin, but also game over and have to like fight him again. So, free 5,000 gold apparently. Hold up or up? Wait, up left or left on that guy? Great question, Paladin. I think as I'm running around him, I'm like alternating between left and up left, but I'm actually not positive. I think it's mostly just left. While dodging his attacks at the beginning, it's definitely just left, but as I'm fighting him, I might be pressing up left. I'm really not sure. That's a great question, though. So yeah, now we got the yellow magic, and we go back to Klaus. We get a section with a lot of cutscenes and not so much action. First thing we do, we just have to leave town and come back. You can go anywhere you want and come back. The fastest place to go is Mel's, because you can just enter Mel's for 1 step and then return. So we just go in here, but hold left to leave right away. Go back to... Klaus's, where we get another cutscene. Yeah, you'll figure it out, pal. If you get that far. I hope you do. After this, we get to escort Primadol to the lakeside. It's the only place they'll let you go. And here we get another dialogue section. We do have to race Prima Doll, so we will be holding up once we get to that point. We're gonna get to a boss fight. I feel like you can get to a boss fight pretty reasonably. Like, all the inputs leading up to Blood and Smoky are, like, not so tough, I think. Mostly holding X. And or square. I guess square or X. Or square or circle, since you're playing on Japanese version. Here, just hold up to race him. Back to Klaus's. Cats are back there having a little battle. Very exciting. After this cutscene's over, we're gonna go to, let's see, Rod. Will take us to the Lakeside Ruins. We're kind of in the midst of a big cutscene section. Like, after Goratan, the next, like, 20 minutes is not that action-packed. But we get back into the action a bit later. We head over to Rod's. We just gotta talk to him. And he'll ask us what the name of his boat is. The answer everybody knows is Pulsar Inferno Typhoon Omega. Which is the third option. On both English and Japanese versions. As long as you say it correctly, he will agree to help you out. Once you're done with this dialogue section, you go back and talk to Klaus, who will let you actually depart. Just run up to him, talk to him, and choose the non-default option. You can press either up or down to get to it. But the default option is stay here. After this point, you're basically just holding X for a while. Actually, I think there's one screen where there is one text box that's better to mash. So if you're really getting to the nitty-gritty, I think it's the first dialogue box after we depart. There's like a loading screen. If I'm remembering correctly, it's like right here. Let's try it. Nope, just kidding. Just keep holding X. The moving part for a minute is that bad? Yeah, I agree. Like it's a lot more Mince Run is a lot more boss fight focused. Where I find Ruse Run is more like platforming and movement focused. get some nice long cutscenes. I really don't have much to talk about here, so if you're watching this video to learn how to speedrun Threads of Fate, maybe fast forward a little bit here. At least until we're in the jail cell. Because between now and then we're doing nothing. I'm hoping this video is at least interesting to any of you viewing live right now who are maybe less familiar with this game and just want to like understand what's going on while I'm speedrunning it. Hopefully this will give you a little bit of insight. If any such people exist. I bet there's a couple people out there. Not you, Shiny Tentacruel. You already know what's going on in this run. I'd say you're like, at this point, top 3 most knowledgeable Threads of Fate mint % speedrun knowers. But now that this video is getting made, that's all going to change. People are going to flock to this game. They're going to come in droves to watch the video, learn how to speedrun Mint. The leaderboard is going to be packed. Packed with people, I tell you. Yeah, it is sad, Shiny. Like, it's sad that there's, like, not that many people who run this category. Or, like, know that much about it. Like, even a lot of people that have run it have only done a few runs. They weren't really that serious about it. So I would love to see more people on the leaderboard being competitive. I would love to see people beating my times. That would make me so happy to know that people have put that level of dedication into it. So here, we do have to press down for like a moment. So it's basically, as soon as I see the jail cell, I usually start hitting down on the D-pad. Or the analog stick, really doesn't matter. We're pressing down for actually like a quarter of a second. As soon as we become movable, you just gotta press down and it triggers another cutscene. Right there. Yeah, I know you don't know it that well, but like neither does anybody else. There's like Wizix who really studied it. I don't know how well like Ken Himogen would remember it at this point. Don't really know anything about that guy. And then anybody else probably did not take the run seriously enough to really know what's going on. Again, a nice long cutscene to sit through. The next thing that's going to happen is the room with the invisible platforms. Rue is going to offer to guide you. We will choose Cross on Your Own, which is the bottom option. So you just press up to kind of scroll over to the bottom. Oh yeah, Paladin's going to know it. Paladin has just started work on a task. So if you're watching this like years in the future and there's no mint % tasks, that means Paladin Knight has failed me, and I'm very disappointed. If there is an epic task of this category, then I'm very, very happy. So Basically, on this next screen, you just want to memorize where the platforms are. It's not so hard once you've practiced it a couple of times. We choose the third option, cross on your own. 1, because it's faster, and 2, because you also get some coins out of it, I think. I don't quite know. Well, I like the sound of that paladin. Paladin said he's mostly going to focus on doing like humanly realistic things in the task for the purpose of optimizing the RTA. Do that. Get our magic back. And like a gold coin or something. You saved 4 frames? How did you do it? I'm very curious. This next screen, you gotta dodge the pumpkins, and you gotta not die. Dying on this screen is very time consuming. With big long auto scroller, so try not to die. You get 15 pumpkins shot at you, and you just gotta jump at the right time to avoid them. If you get hit by some, it doesn't matter as long as you don't die. You do get a free heal directly after this section, so if you leave this room with 1 HP, you're doing great. I like to use the audio cues as well as the visual cues of looking at the cannon. This next switch delays a little bit before she shoots. And I messed it up anyway, even though I said it. No big deal. Got 51 HP, we're doing great. I see what you're saying, Paladin. That makes a lot of sense. My tea is almost gone. I've got a chamomile lemon tea I've been sipping on, but it's nearly gone. Really unfortunate. Again, very cutscene heavy section. It's what you sign up for when you run this game. This is kind of just like the midpoint that splits like the early game from the late game. Is there's this like 20-25 minutes of not too much action. Yeah, it makes sense, Paladin. So you're doing like 90-degree angles, like perfectly timed. Yeah, that makes sense. So here we go to the tavern to talk to Belle and Duke. Hello, sometimes I pee the bed. Twitch user with very unique username. After this cutscene, it spawns us outside of the tavern, so we'll just press the left. Or actually, like, down left, I think. I don't know. Once it loads, I've got the muscle memory for it. Yeah, it's totally down left, but then I kind of switch to left because the camera, like, turns as you're going. And now we head to bed. Pretty much whenever it's nighttime, it just means you gotta go to the inn. Go take a little nappy nap. Now, in this section, you have to exit the inn. So first of all, I'm going to master this first text box as I did before. You got to go out the left door here. If you try to go out the right door, you get a message that's like, oh, it's stuck or something like that. Basically, just so that this cutscene makes sense, because you always go out the left door in the cutscene, so you have to also do it in the level, which I kind of like that they have that level of detail, that it doesn't, like, teleport you before the cutscene starts. So here, we get part of our time save from doing the last hero quest earlier, is that we get to go in this shortcut again. If you go to the spot where you normally fight Blood and Smokey the other two times, they're there, and there's a big dialogue. You can fight them or not fight them. Or you have to, like, fight... You don't fight them, but you fight some monsters or something. But by going this way, you avoid that whole dialogue. It's like something like 40 seconds faster or something like that. Again, stay on the foreground to avoid the porcupines. Just run through here. And we get another cutscene. The Elena dialogue is dumb. Yeah, that's a common theme in this game, that Elena says some stuff that a particularly smart person might not say. Now, once again, we visit Klaus. After this cutscene, we are going to go shopping. We don't have any items to sell, so we'll just sell our monsters, which will give us enough money. Assuming we did all of our money route right, which we did. We actually got a lot of spare money because we got the extra gold coin. We will buy the best weapon and the best armor that is available now. Like 30 minutes trying to eat the pumpkin. Love to see it. Yeah, I do like that in an RTA you can just call it close enough. Even though I know I'm probably not eating the pumpkin optimally. You know, it's within probably a quarter second or something. It's good enough. So this is actually one of the 2 times where it spawns you upstairs. So you just hold up there. I did it kind of badly there, but it does spawn you up there. Yeah, sell your monsters, buy the weapon, buy the best armor, and then we head to the underground ruins for a second time. This time, in the first section of the underground ruins, we actually take a different route. You just go directly up the entire time. Whereas the first time you had to go a bunch of different directions. Not sure why the layout changed, but it did. So we just go up, up, up. Yeah, I guess that is just the ruins themselves trying to troll us. So again, we're just going directly up. Try to not get hit by those guys. Oops, wrong way. Try to avoid getting hit by those guys. Now we hold X here and then jump as soon as we can. So I'm like mashing jump while holding X there. Then I go here. With these skeletons, you actually do want to kick them each time. Oops. On the Gudons, the first time through, you don't want to kick them, but those skeletons are going to wreck you. So here we use the raindrops magic, the single blue magic, because there are some puppets that appear here, and you just stand in the entrance, wait a moment, and then shoot them with 12. 12 bubbles will do. Pick up the platform and move on. You really want to see MP drops from those puppets. If they all give HP, you can get into a little trouble at the end and have to farm a Spectre or something for MP. For these first couple, it's not as big of a deal because you are going to be kicking the skeletons anyway, which gives you MP. Supposed to jump there. Avoid the Spectre's attack. I don't think it gives you better acceleration, but it'd be worth looking into. We switch to the fire magic. You do have to hit this ice block again, so I've got enough MP here. If you don't have enough MP, I guess you gotta hit a Spectre or something. You'd want to do that, I guess, before actually heading into that section. Then we switch to the blue-eyed magic, because we're going to need that on the upcoming boss fight. I have less MP than I would like, for sure. I'm actually going to kick this Spectre for a couple extra MP. Again, you can run across these things. It's not so hard. Once you've practiced it a few times. Here we hold down left. As we're going to be going this way. And that's it for the ruins. We just get a little cutscene here, and then we end up going back to town. Yeah, they really do Paladin. But it's mostly that, like, after, like, right when they spawn, for, like, a certain amount of time, you can't pick them up. And so you just, like, run into them for a while. I'm not sure why. But so that's why I like to jump on them to get inside of them, because then I'm just holding a directly down input. So then I don't have to time my, like... If I'm, like, holding up, and then I pick it up, and then I gotta switch to down, that's gonna be, like, slightly slower. Very, very minimal difference, but I just try to do that if I can. So we've got Psycho Master coming up, which is a kind of a fun boss fight. You can hit him with triple blue magic. You can hit him with a kick. You can actually hit him with your basic attack and hit him with the first 2 hits of your combo. Usually I don't use the basic attack. Normally if he spawns close to me, I'll use magic. You just run behind him, hit blue magic. It should hit him with all 3 depending on what attack he does. Sometimes he'll despawn too quickly or use one of his magics, which is unfortunate. If he spawns far away, you don't have quite as much time to get there, so then I'll usually do a jump kick. Just jump behind him and kick him. Jump kick is going to be your like safest, most consistent strat. So if there's a fight you have trouble like even winning on, I would recommend just only use jump kick until you become a little more comfortable with it. With just like generally the movement in the game. There are a couple of little weird intricacies. Like if he lifts up his arms and then you hit him like immediately after that, then the next time he spawns, he's gonna go into the like chasing animation more quickly. And so a lot of times if that happens, you're gonna wanna just run away and like skip 1 cycle of hits. Kind of, I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Sometimes you can get him with a jump kick quickly enough before he starts, depending on how high he lifted up his arms. Basically, the more of the lifting arms animation he did, the faster he's gonna go into the attack on the next cycle. So here I'm just holding up and X. And then as soon as we can, we run behind him and hit him with magic. Just like that. That part's pretty safe and consistent. There we go. Easy fight. That went really smoothly. The Team Rocket exit. That's exactly what it is. I really think Bell and Duke are basically Team Rocket in this game. They have a lot of similarities. And there goes Bell, along with Duke. Whenever this cutscene's over, we'll be in the inn. We'll wake up in the inn. And then head to Tower of Maya. Which is maybe the second most difficult split in the run, I would say. There's some really tricky parts to it. Oh, there's my cat Rory. Oh, and there's Leo. They're pretty cute. Leo's got his head rested on Rory's back. It's so cute. Alright, wake up here, leave, mash through this first text box, head out, go to Tower of Maya, which is the bottom option. And now we get the one time in the run where it's feasible to take a restroom break. Once the Valen's Fortress starts spawning, you get about 50 seconds or so where you don't need to press any inputs. So if you gotta go, this is your chance. Otherwise, you got another hour of gameplay at least, depending on how fast you go. Welcome back, Bright Eyes, by unpopular demand, apparently. Yeah, it's fast. It's like, it's definitely not ideal for a bathroom break, but it is doable in an emergency. I tend to just avoid drinking too much sort of liquids while running this game. I used to always drink a big cup of tea whenever I would run this game, but I ran into one too many emergencies and decided it wasn't worth it. So the first dialogue box after this, you do want to mash rather than hold. Just mash the one box and then start holding. Oh my gosh, Bright Eyes. Why do you try that? Why don't you just relax? You're supposed to relax. Dancing Rick has an idea to wear a diaper while running this game, which is certainly an option that you may choose to do if you want. That was a joke? Good. I'm very glad. Because that sounds very unhealthy. Very unhealthy. So now we just hold up in order to run into the Tower of Maya. So yeah, this split, doing everything optimally is hard. I'll try to explain as much as I can. I maybe should have started explaining stuff ahead of time. So here, just press up and then kind of start going up left once you can see yourself. Jump over these guys. They can either hit you or do a crouching thing. This next section, you actually only need to kill the pumpkins. You don't need to kill the wabbits on this next screen. Usually I'll kill the first one just for safety purposes. We do want to pick up these gold coins though. So I'll triple attack this guy. And then jump that guy. Get this and just turn it into a combo. You basically just need to kill all these 4 pumpkins. If you kill that wabbit because he comes over by you, great. If not, that's fine. Jump over these. Not like that. Don't do that. That's how you lose time. Let's try this again. You have to make sure to jump on the correct pumpkins or else you'll fall down and pick up whatever this is, starstones or something. There's a health pad to the right there if you need it. Here, we just try and kill some pumpkins. Well, in Final Fantasy runs, there's a lot more cutscenes that are long. There's like 2-3 minute cutscenes like spread out throughout the runs of like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy X. Again, same as the other balcony room. I kill the first one, dodge the second one. Here we want to use the white single magic. So what we do, this is actually a really tricky room. You basically want to do something like that to kill that wabbit, and then same thing, use the white magic to kill this one. If you keep him at enough, like low enough health that he can die to a kick, then you can just like jump kick him. You want to jump here as the platform is descending because it like is synchronized with the other one, and you want to you can only hit the wabbit when the platform is down. So we want to jump right about there, I think. Try and hit him enough that we can hit him with a jump attack. Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what you want to do there. It's very tough. If you mess it up, you basically just got to go around and do it again. Take the health here if you want it. Don't need that item. It sells for very little. Here there's 3 gold coins here. Depending on your money route, you may or may not need them. If you picked up a gold coin on the docks earlier, you don't need those. But if you did the silver coin on the stairs, but didn't do the gold coin on the docks, then you should pick up those 3 gold coins. Jump over all these guys, and I'm just holding X here because there's a cutscene coming up and I just want to be in fast mode already. I don't know if it actually makes a difference. On stairs, I think it's up left, but honestly I'm not sure. Here we got Trap Master. This fight, I honestly don't fully understand this fight well enough to like super explain it, but basically you use the blue-eyed magic, jump next to him, hit him, ideally hits him with all three, but he has a lot of attack patterns where you just can't damage him, so we'll see how it goes. Like that. Like I clearly like hit him, but it just didn't do anything. So be it. You want to be as close to the edge of the platform as you can in order to make sure you can hit him with multiple hits of the attack. There we go. Pretty good fight overall. Now this next fight is my least favorite of the run by a huge margin. Mode Master, who is transformed to look like Maya. Honestly, I don't know what to tell you about this fight. Try not to get hit. Try not to get turned into a pumpkin. Hit her if you can, but the auto-targeting is going to make you hit the pumpkins all the time. Normally I just use basic attacks as much as I can, although jump kicking is handy sometimes. If you get knocked down, either by doing an attack or a jump, you can get up a little bit faster. You can tell if she's gonna transform you into a pumpkin because she starts like walking first. She walks slowly and then kind of turns around, does a magic spell, and then she puts like a space on the ground that turns you into a pumpkin. As long as you stay away from that space, then you're alright. If you get turned into a pumpkin, all you can do is run around for, I don't know, 5 or 8 seconds. It loses a bunch of time, and it's very frustrating. Overall, this whole fight is just frustrating. See what I can do. Hopefully we'll go fast. Maybe we'll go real slow. I don't know. Luckily, this isn't a real speed run, so I don't super care. But this fight is frustrating, no doubt about it. Here we go. Also, a lot of times, your attacks can go directly through her and they just have no effect. Or if you try to attack her, you end up attacking pumpkins. Haven't even hit her yet. That was the pumpkin spot that you saw in the background there. Oh, there's another one. Not a great fight. Am I gonna die? This fight's impossible. Can I attack her? Maybe. Goodness gracious. So that's kind of a typical Mode Master fight. Don't expect yours to be perfect, because it certainly won't be. Hey, what's up, Dodokers? Yeah, I speedrun this game almost every day. And actually today, for a little change of pace and for some fun, we're making a tutorial video. So, if you're interested in learning how to speedrun this game, just watch this VOD. Very exciting. I'm very excited that you're excited about this game, though, because this is one of my favorite games, and it is not particularly popular. was unlucky, if you ask me. Here you got to talk to each of these two and decide which one's real and which one's a phony. I feel kind of silly saying this, but I don't know which option is faster to choose. So I would just choose the top option. One of these days I'll time it to learn for sure. So, like, it's not about being correct necessarily. Like, it might be faster to choose the wrong one is the thing. It's just all a matter of, like, how many text boxes show up. So yeah, I just have to time it at some point if I want to know if I'm doing it optimally. It'd be a difference of, you know, maybe a second, but it's worth knowing. I mean, you gotta find another runner if you want to learn Rue. I've got the world record on Rue as well. Currently, I've got the world record in all 5 categories of this game. It's pretty exciting. But I am actively running Mint at the moment. But I do intend to go back to Rue at some point. What are the cats doing over there? Oh, look how cute they are. I love cats. So this next section here, most casual players will like go talk to Klaus and go talk to Rod here. And he'll tell you to collect all the cannon orbs. But if before you talk to Rod, you go talk to Fancy Mel, you actually get to skip replaying all of her minigames, which is a huge time save. And honestly, playing the minigames is not that fun. So we just go straight to Mel's here. And you just get the cannon orb from her directly. Whereas if you didn't do that, if you go to Rod first, then when you get here, all the Popple Pearls are hanging out outside and they're like, hey, come play with us. We'll give you a cannon orb. Yeah, no worries, Rick. This place, I don't mind the decorations here. I think it's cute. I can see how it might not be appealing to everybody, though. So there's a pretty long cutscene here. We end up getting a cannon orb. And then you just hold down. Again, holding directly down will put you directly on the star platform. If you go left or right at all, then you will have to jump in order to get on the platform for whatever reason. Not enough lights on, so you get blinded. That's funny. That is funny. So after we get this cannon orb, then we go talk to Rod, who will be like, hey, if you want to get up to Valen's fortress, we'll need to upgrade the Pulsar Inferno Typhoon Omega in order to be able to fly. And to do that, we need 10 cannon orbs, but we only have 5 cannon orbs right now. Or, you know, something like that. This screen, just hold directly left and hold X. We'll get a visit from Johnny Wolf. What up, Johnny? Yeah, I agree. I love the animations in this game. They really bring the characters to life. For being, you know, kind of low-res polygon models, like, you know, it'd be very easy to have the characters feel very emotionless, but we hold up right here. But the animations really do a great job, I think. So that's one cannon orb down. Now we go talk to Klaus. After this cutscene, we do spawn upstairs, so we just press up. And we go down the alleyway into the tavern, where Belle and Duke have a cannon orb for us. Cannon orb number 3. Just run down here. Basically just hold up when you get into there and you'll kind of fall off of that platform and start the cutscene. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good stuff about Brave Fencer Musashi and a lot of comparison to this game. I have not played it myself, but it is something I might be looking into in the nearish future. After this cutscene's over, we just hold right. Which will make us run across these like barrels and boxes or whatever they are, but we're going to Hobbs' shop, basically. So just hold right to start heading that way. Now this is kind of an interesting one. Hobbs has a cannon orb. Gives us we have three dialogue options for what to say to him. The price of the cannon orb will depend on which one we choose. We will choose the second option, which is put on an act. That'll cause him to sell it to us for 5,000 gold, which is the cheapest of the three options, I think. And we're also going to take this opportunity to sell our monsters and sell all of our gold and silver coins, which will give us enough money to buy the cannon orb and buy the best weapon armor before heading into Valen's Fortress. So, yeah, we sold our star stones, we sold our gold coins. We have plenty of money left at this point. I picked up more gold coins in this route than normally I would, so I've got even more extra money than typical. Go to Tonio's. Buy the weapon and armor. And now we are ready to head back to Rod's Field, where we're actually going to talk to Belle. No, we do not get the rare wine. It would not help us at all. We do get the Last Hero book, though, to give to Rod. Which gives us some extra strength and lets us skip some cutscenes later. Now we get another nice long cutscene where Rod and Duke set off to gather the 5th Dragon Ball. Very long cutscene. But it makes sense, it's leading up to the final dungeon. A lot of tension and excitement at this point in the run. Or in the game casually, but also in the run. If you're on a good pace here, it's kind of like alright, we just gotta clutch it out for this final section. Yeah, we get Rod's music there. So here we just exit, mash through the first dialogue box here, head back over to Rod's location. And talk to Bell again. After a moment, we're going to have to choose to depart, which is the default option. So we just release and repress the X button. Now we're coming up on my personal favorite line of dialogue in the whole game. Any Threads of Fate fans in the chat know which line I'm talking about? It's a pretty good one. Here it comes. Barfing is always so refreshing. You can barely see it there in the speedrun if you're holding the button, but Mint says that barfing is always so refreshing. Which she makes a fair point. I almost always feel better afterwards. Not that I barf that often, but when I do, I'm usually glad to have it out. Alright, so now we got the arena section. Try and do my best. This part is another maze, so I would recommend, write down the path through it until you've got it memorized. How did you get here right during that comment? Great question, Stir Fry. Glad to have you, though. So first we run up to this first thing and just kill the gargoyles. I usually use basic attacks. really want to have full health after this if possible, because of the way the healing works at the end of each arena section. Any damage you take along the way is directly time loss, as it heals you over time. So we go to the second teleporter thing, and then the second one again. Get to one of these platforming sections. See if I can do it correctly. I'm not actually positive that I have the optimal strat here, but I have a strat that works for me, so that's what we're doing. Here you gotta use a few different magics to get through. Again, write down what I'm doing, please, if you want to know where to go. Oops. I'm gonna jump a little late, actually, on the fire blobs. Should go the other direction around the menu, but it's alright. Press it twice. Wait, left. I'm supposed to go left here. Confused myself. Okay. Whatever. Still got Japanese version muscle memory, just kind of making me press the wrong buttons sometimes. I don't know if I have favorite spells necessarily. I just have like the ones that I use in the speedrun because they're the fastest. So, yeah. Blue-Wide and White-Wide are both very good ones that are really useful, especially in a lot of boss fights, because they get multi-hits in. Pretty good arena so far. Try and do something like that with those jumps if you can. Here, okay, so this one's kind of interesting. We use jump kicks to kill the 5 behemoths in this section. They can each, depending on your damage rolls, take either 7 or 8 hits. So I'm gonna do 5 hits. Those are terrible rolls. Do 5 hits, then run away for that attack, and then hit him with the remaining 2 or 3. So you can hit anywhere from 16 to 21 damage per kick. And you need to average, I think it's like 18.25 in order to kill him with 7. This might work. Yeah, we'll get that one in 7. Doesn't really matter so much to know the damage numbers. It lets you react a little bit quicker if you kill it in 7, but like, whatever. Pretty negligible difference. Might be able to get this one in 7. Nope. Yeah. 5 kicks, run away while he attacks, and then hit him with the remaining 2 or 3. Pretty straightforward. Not terribly difficult. I don't think this is going to work. Oh, we got it. Cool. 20 and a 21. Finished it off pretty nicely. Just go through this H-shaped section, kind of. Our last behemoth here. Oh yeah, this should be an easy 7 hit. Even with bad rolls post attack. Barely made it. That works. I would recommend for beginners to probably just wait till after that fire. Add an extra 1 or 2 seconds, but it's a lot safer. This section, you just gotta light the torches. I'll show you the optimal path through it to have basically the least amount of menus. Yeah, her foot is super OP as far as the hitbox goes. The damage is not great. Oops. The damage is not great, but a lot of times it doesn't need to be. A little too close there. If you're too close to that when you use the fire magic, it won't work. Like, you can be in a position where the water magic works, but the fire magic doesn't. You need to back up a little if that happens. So basically, go left, use the water magic, and then in the middle, use the water, then the fire, then you go right where you just need the fire. And then you go to the farthest one, where you use the fire first, then green, then blue. And you want to end on blue because you're going to need blue for the next fight. So by doing it in this order, you just optimize your menus slightly. If you did it in a different order, really not such a big deal. We go to blue wide there. Oops. Doesn't matter if you go left or right here. I usually just go whichever direction I'm running at the time when I pick up the orb. Rather than changing directions. Hey, what's up, Dale, man? How you doing? How you doing? Alright, so now we got Cycle Master again. The fight is largely the same as the first time we fight him. We just want to use the blue magic whenever we can, especially if he spawns nearby. You can get to him quickly. If he's far away, usually I wouldn't risk it, and I would instead just use a kick, because if you leave him too long before you hit him, then he will just attack you and hurt you and take a bunch of time. Quaker Oats guy. Yeah, he does kind of look like the Quaker Oats guy. So again, right off the bat, you can run up to him and blue magic him. Except sometimes he does that. And sometimes he does that. The fire attack, there's not really a whole lot you can do. You're just going to get wrecked if he uses it. It's still worth going for because when you do hit him with the magic, it does so much damage. He's trolling me right now. Got the double hit with the fire. That's rude. Twice as much damage as normal. This is my least favorite attack of his. And it can be, it's very hard to hit him when he does that. One kick left. Decent enough fight. That was a pretty good fight overall, I'd say. He trolled me just a tad, but not so bad. Had a 27-hour shift yesterday. Wow, that does not sound very fun, Bright Eyes. Well, at least it's over now, right? So now I get this boss rush section. The order that you fight these doesn't super matter. You can either do Cloudwell first or last. I wouldn't recommend doing Cloudwell second because then you would be changing magic more times. We're going to fight Cloudwell first. Basically exactly the same as the first Cloudwell fight. Except for you have more attack power, so one cycling him is a little bit easier. You're not scheduled, but they're going to give you one anyway. Unlucky. Green magic. Wait for him to go into one of the 3 patterns there. You can hit him. And hit him. Got attacked, or got eaten. That's kind of fine. I wasn't going to be able to one-cycle him anyway. Oh, fuck. But that was... Oh, come on. I was pressing left. Whatever. Unlucky that he did the additional spawns and then immediately went into that attack. Oh, we get to see the jump attack now, though. Yeah, you see I get double hits some of the time. It's a little hard. You just gotta, like, kind of roll circle into X. This fight is basically the same as the first time you fight him, except for you only gotta hit him twice. That. And Nightmare is the same as the first time you fight him, except for he has different attack patterns. But the general concept is completely the same. You just want to jump up and hit him with the 5-way magic. And we're on our way. We're almost done. 3 boss fights left. I should have switched to the blue wide magic already, but we can do it at the beginning of the fight. It's not a big deal. It's just a little awkward. But, yeah, we frappate him. We do the same thing the first time we fight him, which I feel like is way more impressive because it's, like, way at the earlier part of the game. So with this guy, his attacks that he does are based on your positioning. So you want to stay kind of like a medium distance away from him. So he'll use this attack where it shoots like kind of an ice beam towards you. And when he does that, you want to dodge it, jump kind of towards him, and then hit him with your blue magic. So we're going to try it. We'll see what happens. At the beginning, yeah, that's the attack. Basically, you just want to do that over and over again, ideally. Sometimes he'll use other attacks. And then usually go into that one next if you stay far away. This is the general flow, except you'd rather him... What is he doing? I messed that up. I was a little confused by his movement pattern. He was just like running and not attacking, which I'm not used to seeing. That's where you want him to be. Decent enough fight. It's better if he doesn't do those black orb attacks in between, but whatever, we'll take it. It was like only yesterday. We were just getting started. Yeah, it seems like it was only like 2.5 hours ago. Now we got Valen. The Valen fight is very frustrating to me. Lately I've had some real struggles with him. I don't know why. But basically, again, if you played the game casually, you understand the general idea of the fight is you need to hit Rue's possessed body while it floats around and try to avoid the guy that runs around the ring outside. You can use the you can use the yellow single magic to do like a homing attack on him, which lets you hit him from a little bit farther away. So you want to use that some of the time. Basically, the important thing is try to hit Rue every time he stops, and try not to let him get healed. Valen will stop and stand in place and he'll like charge up an attack, which is actually a heal. So if you see him doing that, you want to run up to him and kick him as quickly as you can. So you can basically use the yellow magic or the kick on Rue. It doesn't matter. It does an equal amount of damage because it's only based on the number of times you hit him on this fight. Even if you have max attack power, it doesn't really matter. You want to hit him whenever he stops on one of the edges. So either kick him or use a yellow attack if you're a little bit farther away. And Temmie got in his pajamas. No kidding. He does have a pretty neat outfit. We get to see him again? Or is he gone? I guess he's gone now because he's inside of Rue. There he is for a moment. So the menu here is right down, which will switch to the yellow single magic. At first you want to go the same direction as the guy that's walking around. He can go either direction, but you want to go the same direction. That way you're not like against him. You basically generally just don't ever want to walk the opposite direction as him, because you'll like run into him and it'll be annoying. There's the healing attack. Maybe that'll hit him. Oh, it did miss. Whenever he does this, you just want to jump. Every time he jumps, you do have just enough time to charge an attack. He's gonna heal. Okay, we got just in time. Healing again? How rude. It's not what we like. What is he doing? Never seen him jump that far in my life. It's almost done yet. You can kill that guy. He does respawn, but usually isn't going to matter in the speedrun. At least once you're like pretty good at that fight. So that fight overall went quite well. Not perfect, but pretty close. Now we get the final fight, which is got a lot of luck involved, and you can lose a ton of time through no fault of your own. We have unconfirmed theories about how you can manipulate him to turn into the correct form. So he's got 4 forms he can transform into, but only one of them is he vulnerable. So our current working theory, which by the time that you're watching this, we may or may not have some more confirmed information, but it seems like if when he's changing forms, if you're standing in the center of the room, he's like more likely to give the correct form. And it also seems like if you take damage, it's less likely that he'll give the correct form. So you basically just want to avoid getting hit and end. Yeah, it's a hypothesis. We've had some evidence supporting our ideas, but it's not fully confirmed yet. We don't have a large enough sample size, basically. But through what we've seen so far, it really seems like that's the case. The magic menu here, again, is right down, the same as it is for everyone. So he does this. We just avoid it for a while. If you get hit, it's honestly no big deal, because we wanted to be in the middle anyway. And he does this for him, which is what we want. Just let it hit you like even one time, then you can let go. You'll get hit a couple times for a couple damage, but it really doesn't matter. This form, you just want to avoid it. I like to kind of go clockwise like this and then go straight while he's shooting. And try and end in the middle if possible. So far, so good. Perfect fight so far. Or, you know, as close to it as you can feasibly hope for on Light Valen. You can never give the form where you damage him twice in a row. This one you just jump around for a while until he stops. This fight has been insanely good. Getting grabbed is bad. He can never give the correct form after you get grabbed. I jinxed it. I mean, this run wasn't like a fast speedrun anyway, because I stopped so many times to explain what's going on. It has been a very solid run, though, honestly. Alright. And that's it. Once you do that, the game is almost over. We have to... the timing for the speedrun ends at the end of the credits, so we do have to get to the credits, which involves a whole lot of holding the square button. I don't know if I'll actually sit through the entire credits in this video, but we'll at least get to the start of the credits. Since once the credits roll, you don't actually have to press anything. What is my English version PB? I'm wondering how close this is to it. Let's check speedrun.com. 20% mint on English. I got a 251.35. Which one was my light Valentine? 235.37. Wow. This was within a minute of my English version PB. That's actually really funny. No, there's not any gameplay after the credits. We just end the timing when the game says the end. And thank you, Shiny Tentacruel. Thank you, Dodokers. There's a little teeny bit of gameplay still left to get to the credits. Just a wee tiny bit. Yeah, so I'm probably going to put this on YouTube. Definitely we'll have a Twitch highlight. We'll put this up on speedrun.com. Try and help any new runners who may be interested in picking up this game. Hopefully this guide has helped you. And you feel comfortable enough that you can try your first run. I just want to reiterate, you know, your first runs are not going to be smooth. You're probably going to die a lot. You're going to mess up all these strats, and that's okay. You're not going to remember where you're going. Point is, just do it. And then do it again, you know? The second time will be faster. I promise that. You'll get there with some practice. I've done, at this point, between Rue and Mint, probably about 150 runs. Mint alone, probably about 100. Rue is probably closer to 50. So. And I'm still learning for sure. I'm like, I can still feel myself getting better as I go. Of course, if you did find this helpful, feel free to follow my Twitch channel, BBQ Saws. That's BBQ SAUZ. It's probably the same as my YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. I don't really have much to plug. Not like a big time streamer or anything. Just like to stream and play video games and hang out with my friends. And try to go fast as much as possible. Really wanted to share some knowledge of this game because I think there's not that much for tools and resources for new players at the moment, and I really like to make the game a little more accessible to new people so that they may try it out. I love watching people play this game. I love when there's new innovation and new strategies, which we've had quite a bit of lately. This game currently is as active as it's ever been, to my knowledge, and hopefully we can just keep increasing that with new players picking it up casually or for speedruns. Obviously I'm a speedrunner, but even if you're just, you know, replaying it casually, that's exciting to me. You want to look at my cats again? Oh, only Rory now. Leo left. Rory's pretty cute though, huh? Yeah, this game is super charming. Like the writing and the animations and the music and all that just feels like so nice as you're playing it. I feel like it always puts me in a good mood. You missed everything in the game. Yeah, this is super forgiving. There's not so much to it. It's just silly. If you do miss stuff, it's really not a big deal. Just fun to play, in my opinion. So here we get to actually do some stuff in a minute. All we gotta do is go to the hotel and talk to Grandpa. In Rue's story, he goes around town, he talks to all his friends he's made along the way, and bids them farewell. Mint, being Mint, if you know anything about her character, it's not surprising to know that she doesn't say bye to anybody, she just leaves. Fits her character pretty well, I think. Get out. Why can I? What happened? Oh, I'm literally pressing square when X is the button. Because I'm used to Japanese version. Silly me. Silly, silly me. On Japanese version, the X, circle, and square button are all rotated in their functions. And that's what I typically play. But I figured for a tutorial it's better to play in English so people can follow along. My primary target audience will be English-speaking people as opposed to Japanese-speaking people. After this cutscene, we just run to the hotel. She never stops being Mint. That's so true. Yo, Drelna, what's going on? Explain the whole game. Funny you should mention that. So we go to the hotel, talk to Grandpa for a minute. He's going to give us 2 dialogue prompts. We choose the default option both times. So I've literally spent the past 2 hours and 44 minutes explaining the whole game. So I would recommend, if you'd like to know about the whole game, to watch this VOD. We're just finishing up a tutorial. But thank you for coming by. Thank you for the follow yesterday, Drelna. Really appreciate that. Hopefully I can live up to the hype of a Dayoman stream. Spoiler alert, I can't, but I think I've got my own unique charm, maybe, hopefully, a little bit. Yo, Threech, what's going on? Oh, depart. We gotta depart. If you're on, like, world record pace, it's really important to pay attention to that text box and not lose time to not paying attention. Look, there's Rory. He's right there, just like in the emote. He's in the emote on screen, and he's also right there. Very cool. Always down to see a new speed butt. Thank you, ButtSpot, the robot that takes chat messages and adds butt to them. He is a good cat. I guess I'll let the credits play. I'm gonna take a quick restroom break during the credits, and then we'll I really want to see what the time is, just to give like people a sense of what you can do in this game. Like, I was stopping to talk a lot, and we're still gonna get like a 2:42, I think. And like I said, your first runs are gonna be much, much, much slower than this. You know, I'd say like sub 3 hours is a really good first target. It'll take you a few runs to get there. But once you kind of start smoothing out the rough edges, you should be able to get sub 3 hours and then start bringing it down after that. Hello, Kevin. Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for the GG on doing a tutorial. Yeah, this game has a lot of text boxes. It's like 50% cutscenes. But I think we went through it at a pretty good clip. A minute slower than my English version PB. And I wasn't even trying that hard. My English is not that optimized though. My Japanese version is way, way more optimized. That is what I typically play because it's faster. Yeah, as far as version differences, it's just the typical Japanese versus English thing, especially in RPGs. Japanese characters tend to take up less space than English characters, therefore there are fewer text boxes in the Japanese version, making it faster. Yeah, GG, say it back. I estimate that it saves 2 to 3 minutes, but I don't have the science to back that up. I don't actually know how much faster Japanese is. I just know that it is faster because as soon as I switched to Japanese, I started getting golds on like every split for free. Right, I'm gonna take a restroom break. We'll be back before the credits are over and see what the final time is. Yeah, I'll see you later, Dodokers. Thank you so much for coming by. But yeah, Buttspot, got him. Buttspot's so funny. Thank you everybody for watching. This has been really fun. And we're not done with the stream yet, but yeah, we're almost done with the tutorial here. Pretty exciting. I've been wanting to do this for a little bit. Just to really help people out. And get some of the stuff that's like in my head just like out there so that other people can make use of it as well. Oh yeah, Droll, now you were the one who yesterday said, like, I don't know anything about it, but I'll follow anyway, right? Love to see it. Here it comes. As soon as it says end of mint story, that's when the final split is. 252.29 is a pretty darn good time. It's just slightly slower than Ken Himigen's run, I think. Or maybe it's actually faster. I don't remember, but yeah, it's super good. That's it for the run. Thank you, everybody in the future who is watching this on YouTube or Twitch. And I hope to see you running this game. Bye.